Welcome to the Home of Misfits podcast, where normal is optional, masks are unnecessary, and you belong. Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Home of Misfits, where normal is optional because, really, masks are not necessary, and you belong. And today, I'm excited. I'm here with Michael, and how do you pronounce your last name? Miski?
Yes, Miski.
Oh,
Yes.
that was easy. So, hey, Michael, thank you so much for being here and for sharing your story. And just give us a little synopsis about you. I mean, you, the person, not you, the not success in business and any of that, but you, the person.
Um, Me, the person. This journey started very early, of being the good boy, the good student that lost his way. And it started when my parents got divorced. It was a really heavy blow for me. And from there, I lost my way. And this the journey that I've taken has over 40 years of trying to find myself,
Hmm.
and I found it in all the wrong ways.
A lot of times we do that until we find the right way.
Sure, it just took 56, well, actually about 48 years of my life. So
A minute or two.
sure.
Let's go with that.
Sure, sure.
Like I tell people I'm 29 plus tax, so inflation doesn't help, but oh well. It's all good.
Sure. So, my journey of, is I can tell you the person that I was, the person that I am now.
Yeah,
And I guess that's what we'll dive into.
that's what
Um,
exactly. I love that. So, what did it feel like when things still made sense?
um, Rephrase that, please.
Okay. What did life feel like when things still made sense?
Um, you know what? It's too long to remember. I'm being honest.
No, I get it.
I don't recall that.
Hmm.
Um,
It's like the
because
other
most of
day.
my life I lived a not so good life.
Hmm.
So,
Okay.
um, deception. I learned deception very early. Um, how to lie. Um, and
Oh,
it
you learn
just
how to lie?
what's that?
You learn how to lie, or you're being lied to and deceived?
Um,
Or both?
Both. It's both. Um, I just became really good at it.
Mm.
Um, and
And
it
I
was,
get that it's a way of survival. Sometimes it's just that's what you feel like
being
you have to
a
do.
chameleon, should I say. I always
Hmm.
looked for the place to fit in. And once I exhausted where I did fit in, I had to search for my next place and my
Hmm.
next place and my next place. And
Okay.
through that, we're talking from, burning every bridge that I've ever built.
Right.
Um,
And it's
and
like who can keep track of all those masks, right?
it's really tough. And I managed it, and I managed it well,
Hmm.
up until the point to where I self-destructed,
Mm.
and it happened every time. I didn't feel my worth, um, and I wanted to be more important than what I was.
Hmm. Which is human,
Yeah,
you know, to a point. Yeah.
but the ways that I did it were terrible, terrible, terrible.
Mm.
From the way that I live my life to what I thought was good things in life, getting involved with really, really bad people,
Mm.
um, and also really, really good people. And it was the good people that I really burned the bridges with. And
Mm.
uh,
Well, because sometimes we just don't know. We don't know what we don't know.
it
Yeah.
was but it was a rough ride for a very, very, very long time.
Hmm.
And the thing was, it's not that I didn't know the consequences. I just didn't care.
Mm. There's a difference, yes.
I didn't care.
Hmm.
When I was stealing millions of dollars, I knew the consequences. I just didn't
Right.
care. The
Hmm.
people I was stealing it from, I knew the very heavy consequences of it, and I didn't care.
Right.
Um,
And sometimes we do that. It's like we do it anyway because in that moment, it's like everything is just, I don't know.
through high school, at a very young age, I couldn't find a spot to fit
Hmm.
in, and I found the punk rock movement. And when I did that, I felt like a misfit who who started to fit in. I found
Right.
my peers.
Right.
They were just as much of a wreck as I was, and that's
Right.
how we bonded.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing. It's like as humans, we really are pack animals. We have that need to belong. We have that need to be part of something, and we look for it. And wherever we get it, we take it.
And
Good,
that's
bad,
exactly
ugly.
what I did. That's what
Right.
I did. And when it got old or I got old with my peers because of my behaviors, I knew it was time to move on. And that's what I did. I
Hmm.
was a grifter.
Right.
Um,
So at what
from
moment did you first feel something isn't right here?
I knew something wasn't right when I was 12, 13 years old.
Mm,
I mean, it's not normal behavior for a 13-year-old to be, traipsing throughout the Detroit City punk clubs at 13 years old, living like an adult. And, it's not that I didn't have supervision or parents to try to tell me to do the right thing. I just didn't want to.
mm. You rebel, you.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the excitement. I lived a life that is unimaginable to most people.
Hmm. So was it kind of like we hear about adrenaline junkies? Was it like something like that?
It is. It is.
Okay.
That which, later on, rolled into my heavy gambling addictions, and any other addictions that I had, drugs, alcohol,
Hmm.
and a multitude of other things.
Hmm.
Um, and it just seemed normal.
Right. Now, did you make up stories for people then, or?
Oh, of course, yes, all the time. I didn't know how to tell the truth.
Mm.
It was hard to navigate my own lies. Um,
Well, that's why they say it. Always tell the truth. You don't have to remember
I've
anything.
learned that. Believe me, I've learned that with many years, being locked up. I've actually learned and realized what is right and wrong in life and why to do
Right.
the right things because they're the right things to do.
Hmm. Now, what did it cost you emotionally to not be believed?
Um,
Because when you tell a lie, and
I didn't
sometimes you
care.
know that the other person knows that you're lying.
I didn't care. I kind of took it. I don't know if I could say this, but
Sure, you can.
if anybody who's watched Seinfeld know who George Costanza is.
Yes.
Um, if you believe it yourself, if you truly believe it yourself, it's not a lie. And that's the way I lived.
Hmm.
I believed my own lies.
Now that's a really scary place to be at, isn't it?
Very, very scary.
Hmm. Why
And
why do you say well, why would you say that it's a scary place?
it's a scary place because I put myself in a lot of really, really bad compromising positions. Not just, somebody getting yelled at, somebody, um, getting arrested by the police. Those were the minor things in my life.
Mm,
Now, the people that I was dealing with throughout my life, the bad people, are bad people.
okay.
And I found that I wanted to fit into that. I thought
Hmm.
it as exciting. It was something that I didn't think was, just stupid little kid from, Clinton
Right.
Township, Michigan, becoming, arm in arm with people that you read about.
Right.
And I
And
thought
it
that was,
wasn't boring now, was it?
it definitely was not boring. It was very, at the time, exciting.
Hmm.
I look back at it now and, Is it a good, story to tell somebody? Of course, because people don't, they don't live their lives like that. A lot of people are probably having a hard time understanding um, if any of this is even true about all
Yes
this.
and no, because it's like, I mean, because so much happens to everybody throughout their life, it may not be exactly like this, but it's like the feelings, the emotions behind it, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to.
Yeah, I do agree with that. It's just the magnitude of the things that I was doing
Right.
is
Right.
what I'm trying to say.
Wow. Now, was there a moment where you questioned your own sanity?
Many times, many times,
Every
as
day.
as even as of recently. I'll be honest with you.
It's like,
Uh,
boy.
so yeah, it's I always question my sanity, and here's the real issue is I knew I had a problem. I knew I
Mm,
wasn't mentally stable. I realized it and I did nothing about it. I
So
wanted
what
to
shifted for
fuel it.
you?
I wanted to fuel it because it made me feel like I was being accepted.
Hmm.
So that's that was my, I always wanted to be accepted. I had, a very successful older sister. She owned automobile dealerships, vice president of companies, and I was just the dumb kid that, thought, well, I need to be something even if I'm not. And
Right.
that was, part of it.
So what happened for you for that whole thing to shift for you? Was there some a moment, in
No,
particular,
there
or
was no specific moment. It just gradually grew within myself.
hmm
I knew for years and years and years, I know what I'm doing is not right. I know what the consequences are. Why don't I care? Why is this exciting to me?
right?
Why? And that's what it was. You say adrenaline junkie, but yes, um, the
So when did
adrenaline.
you first notice that there was that shift?
Um, when I was 13, when I started sneaking into the punk clubs down in
Hmm.
Detroit, hanging around with the older kids, it was the cool thing to do. And that's when I really started to shift. And some of the people, as even as a young teenager, I was hanging around 18, 19, 20-year olds, people that were old enough to get into the bars and things like that. And they accepted me.
Hmm.
And, the bigger the story that I told always made me more exciting.
Right.
It always made, oh, hey, let's, pull him in. This guy, he's a good guy. He's one of us.
Hmm.
And, I identified that when I was 13 years old.
Right. So
That,
I'm talking about the shift. It's like when you realize it's like all of that is not helping you anymore.
I was sitting in a prison cell having a heart attack
Oh wow.
in Alabama.
That'll wake you up.
Yeah. Um, excuse me for a minute.
No, that's okay.
Um, my aha moment was you're when you're in a federal facility and get taken out of the facility to a regular hospital. They don't allow you to call to tell anybody or, I was alone. The only contact I had was my mother at the time. Everybody on the face of the earth dropped me,
Hmm.
rightfully so. And I got an opportunity to call my mother one time. I had one of the federal officers actually let me use her personal cell phone. And I called my mother, let her know, and I said, you know, will you tell dad? So I got one more opportunity to call her back, and that was about 3 weeks later. And I says, hey, did you tell dad? And she paused. And I said, did you tell dad? And she paused.
Mm.
And I said, what did he say? She said, well, this is what he said. At least he's not dead.
Wow. Well, come back to reality right there. Boom.
That was my aha moment.
Hmm. Wow. Whew. Gives me chills. Wow. Yeah,
When
that
the
that'll.
best when the best thing that your own father that you're trying to impress all your life, the only thing that he can tell you is at least he's not dead. That was my wake up.
Hmm. And that's what you needed. And
It
sometimes we
is. It
need that,
is.
to snap out of it.
I thought if that is the absolute best that my own father could stay, safe about me, is at least he's not dead. It just tells me, I was the guy you would walk over to get to the refrigerator without, I was dead to him a long time ago.
Hmm.
That's what it said to me.
Wow. Yeah, that'll do it. So, and then after that moment, what did you do to like not fall back? Because it's easy to fall back into our old habits and our old patterns and everything.
Well, to be honest with you, I spent a lot of time alone. I
Hmm.
started reading books, self-help books. I started joining groups while I was in prison just to talk about it. And I realized that I had a lot of self-worth, um, and that I just needed to get a grip on it. I didn't want to be the bad person anymore. It no
Hmm.
longer thrilled me. It doesn't thrill me today.
Good.
My
Hmm.
stories are just stories. They're interesting at
Right.
at best.
Well,
But
I'm glad you had groups there that you reach out, and it's so important. It's like we don't have to go through stuff alone. There's so many people and groups and venues there to help us, with a hand up.
the one thing that I can say, and this is what I do say, is when you find yourself in that dark spot, it's the best place to grow roots.
Mm,
If you're in a dark spot, that's definitely the best place to start growing roots. And that's what I did.
mm. Wow,
I didn't
that's
have somebody tell me I needed to change. I knew I needed to change. If I wanted anything out of my life besides just being a ex-con, um, and maybe with the hope of rebuilding bridges that I've burned, which I've managed to do very proudly. Um, when a mother's a mother, and she was the one that stuck by me. I don't blame anybody for separating themselves. If I were in their shoes, I would have ran as fast as I could.
right.
Um, so yeah, that was my wake up moment. It was, at least he's not dead.
Hmm. Well, I'm sad it happened. I'm glad it happened. It's those things.
I'm glad it happened too, believe me. I'm in a much better place now, believe me.
Right. Oh yeah.
I'm living a life of not luxury like I used to live. I don't
Hmm.
need it. Material things don't mean anything to me.
Right.
Oh, they're nice to have, but they don't mean anything.
It's just stuff.
Having love in my life, having people love me for who I am, that know my story, my,
Hmm.
um,
Right.
I got a
And
chance.
I mean, I have to, for me personally, listening to you and it's like where you've come from and where you are now, I find this really inspiring
I
and hopeful. I mean, there's hope, for
I got
somebody
to
listening.
reconcile with my father 3 months before he passed,
Oh, good.
and one of the some of the best 3 months of my life.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad you had that opportunity. You know.
So anybody who thinks that they've burned every bridge, no matter how bad, and believe me, I'm living proof of that. I'm the worst of the worst, and that's the truth of it. No matter what, you have a chance of redemption.
Hmm. Oh, well, and you do. It's
It's
like,
either that or curl up in a corner and die. One of the
right,
two.
right,
Keep dying the way that I was.
right. In the last show, we talked about take responsibility. I mean, you're responsible for your life.
I'm 100% responsible for everything that I've done in my life, no matter
Right.
who I've hurt, no matter what I've done. I know that I'm 100% responsible for everything in my life.
Hmm.
Um, I'm glad I realize it. I'm glad I did something about it. I'm
Me
glad
too.
that something switched in my brain and said, hey, this bad person stuff isn't cool. It's not good.
Right.
You're probably going to die in prison because that's the path you chose. And
Hmm.
that's the path I chose.
But see,
It's
what I love is like your story. It gives hope. There's so much hope in there for people listening or watching this. That feel stuck, that feel like there's no way out or whatever. But it's like, yes, there is. And your story. I mean, you prove that. You're living proof that yes, it's possible. I love that.
I can share one thing with you that really kind of sticks with me really good. And I always thought my father didn't love me. That maybe as the statement I made earlier that he stopped loving me a long time ago.
Mm.
But in those intimate conversations that we had, the most profound thing he said to me was, and I don't know if I can use swear words, and I don't
Yes,
want
you
to
can.
anymore.
I put a disclaimer on.
Okay. This is what he said to me. He goes, Mike, it's not that I stopped loving you. He goes, because I knew you were resilient. Every time that you fell into a bucket of shit, you came out smelling like a rose.
Ooh, wow.
So here I am, the shit covered rose.
Well, that's an image. Thanks very much. For all you visual people out there, welcome.
I apologize, but I
Oh, no,
don't. I
no,
mean,
don't.
it really is what is
But here's the thing: it's like never apologize for who you are. And I tell people, I tell my clients, I tell my friends, I was like, be unapologetically you, because there's only one you.
And that's right. There is only one.
So be you, unfiltered, whatever. Show up as you are. That's why the show is Home of Misfits, because we show up as we are. Because
True. Very true. I'm usually not this emotional either, and I don't know why I am today. But it's
masks are unnecessary.
I read my own story of what I wrote, and I find in chapters that I get emotional, and in talking about it, I normally don't. It's usually more because there's more interest in the story, not the person I was
Hmm.
or who I've become.
Right.
It's more
No,
of
but I
this.
get that. It's like, when we write, I was like I read my stuff when it's done and I was like, oh, wow. or
Believe me, I have all kinds of oh
or
wow.
the other way.
When I read it, I'm just like, how did I even let this happen? How did I get there? And still, I'm still trying to put the pieces together. What pieces I've put together so far are positive. I understand a lot more about myself than I haven't in the past. I'm putting things together. Uh,
Hmm.
I've put them together. I'm by no means a whole person yet. I'm whole as far as I can be right here. I'm just still trying to understand how I did the things that I did.
Right. No, I get that. So what did you lose that no one would ever think to ask about?
What did I lose? Trust.
Mm,
I lost trust. I lost credibility. I lost friends and family. I lost all that was good in my life.
hmm.
And it
And when
wasn't
you say you
until
lost trust, was it trust in others or trust in yourself?
both.
Hmm.
There was a point where I had a time in my life where I had a hard time separating what was fantasy and reality. I knew I was creating the fantasy and putting it into reality. I guess that's the best way to describe it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was a telemarketing manager for a small cemetery group that had 12 people working for it. They got bought out by a big conglomerate, and I lied my way into being vice president of the Midwest region, with only having cliff notes from somebody that was in a cemetery business.
Mm.
At the end of the interview, being, in my 20s, um, I walked in and just said, "Hey, this is what I'm going to do. If I get it, I get it. If not, oh well. Oh well. I go do something else. I figure something else out."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I get that. And it's like, so you were pretty much gaslighting them.
Absolutely. I gaslighted everybody in every situation. That's how I lived my life.
Okay.
Um,
So because you were gaslighting people, I'm sure others gaslighted you then too.
You know what? I couldn't tell if they were or not because whatever they were telling me, I wanted to believe was
Mm.
reality. Because most of the gaslighting was, "Hey, you're a good guy. Hey, this is great."
Oh,
Because
it
I
was
was
feeding your ego
fueling,
then, huh?
I was fueling the giant ego there. I was fueling their own uh personal whatever they wanted from me, whether it was money, whether it was drugs, whether it was just information, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted it all to be true because that helped me feel better about myself.
Right. No, I get that. So what actually stopped you from giving up or giving in?
Um, the heart attack in a prison cell.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I that's the only thing that I can say.
No,
With-
and
Without that happening to me, I may have already been dead, still in prison, or just living under a bridge somewhere.
mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have love in my life. I wouldn't have a woman in my life that accepts me for who I am, that loves me for me and not for money, because that's what I was used to.
Right.
So people liked me because I had money, because I had,
Because what you can give them or do for them. Yeah.
um, I told her my story up front and she accepted me for who I was. I mean, told me she's not perfect, but she was a hell of a lot more perfect than I ever was, so to have true love from somebody is very special and it means
Mm-hmm.
a lot. It really means a lot.
Right.
To
I love that being
reconcile
perfect.
to
Like,
reconcile with my family,
right.
to reconcile with, friends that, ran as far and as fast as they could from me.
Mm. Yeah.
It's just, me having to trying to, very hard to explain my story to them. But the ones that get it, I'm glad they get it. To the people that I've done whatever to, they have every right. From my heart, truly, every bad thing that I've done in my life, I regret. There's nothing special about it.
Right.
The special thing is the redemption of getting
Mm-hmm.
to figure out who I am today. The disappointing part is what I could have been.
Well, I mean, that 2020 hindsight, there's so many things when we look back, it's like, oh man, I could have done this different. I could have done that different.
Well,
But
here's the thing. I
when we're
mean,
in it,
by gaslighting people, I always manage to George Costanza my way into something great. Um, it's just the way that my life kind of unfolded. I would act like I knew what I was doing. I would command the room, and people bought into it. And by doing that, for some dumb stroke of luck, it worked.
right.
It kept working, and it kept working until it didn't.
Mm.
So.
So in the little pre-questions that I have in the application, you talked about neurogrid. And as what does it actually look like on a day you didn't want to get out of bed?
I would sit in bed and I would think to myself, what am I doing? What's next to come? I'm always looking over my shoulder. I know that there's people looking for me, not in a good way. Um, what is next for me? And I would go through and try to rationalize with myself on a scale what was better for me at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, it was always the bad outweighed the good. I was
Okay.
greedy. I was a very greedy person. I thought that, having material things in your life was, the coup de grace for everything. And
I mean, that's what we learn everywhere. It's like you turn on the TV, you turn go to social media, go anywhere, and it's like, oh, you know, buy more.
and I didn't grow up that way. We grew up in a modest middle class to upper middle class family. And, there's something that I latched onto that I thought that was important. I
Mm,
thought that either being known, famous, how minor it was, um, having money, I thought that was what life was about.
mm-hmm.
And I got that from the people that I associated with myself, and I seen what they had, and I wanted what they had, and
You mean you were human?
I was human. I was human, sort of.
So, what's the difference between resilience and just refusing to die inside?
Well, resilience, I think, is actually getting to know who you are, what you're about, what's important in life, what's not important in life. It's that easy.
Mm-hmm.
What is really important, what's not. It's love, it's stability. Know that I'm going to get a paycheck every week the right way,
Hey,
where
paying
somebody's
bills is
actually
important.
signing it or being direct deposited instead of in paper bags and envelopes. Um,
That's a win.
yeah, it is a win. It's a big win. And I actually recognize my self-worth. I know if I channel my energy in a positive way, that good things come out of it. The same way I knew when I channeled my energy into bad things would come out of it. The
Mm-hmm.
bad things I associated with being good,
Right. Okay.
if that makes sense to
Makes to me it makes sense.
you.
So when did your mind go from being a curse to becoming your tool?
Um, Shortly after I was released from prison,
Hmm.
that's when I knew I needed to figure out things the right way. When I needed to start using what I knew for good things, for the things that normal people in society or whatever normal is, what I consider, maybe just having a quiet life, not running, from global spot to global spot to city, state to state, just being that,
Right.
kind of a grifter. I knew I wanted to plant my feet somewhere and, I didn't know how I was going to do it. So I started figuring it out.
Mm,
I
love
was
that.
honest with, where does a guy get a job when he gets out of prison? Gas station, Burger King. That was fine with me. That
Hmm.
was fine with me for a start because there's no being humble at that point. It's do what you have to do to survive. And
Right.
I thought to myself, you know what? I'm fairly intelligent, I think. And, I'm going to put my resume out on Indeed, which that Indeed was new to me, at the time. I didn't know I was hard navigating, all these new internet things that I missed out on,
Right.
programs and whatnot. So I put on my resume that basically I was fresh out of prison and that I'm looking for a job. And A day later, after the resume, I had a logistics company call me out of the blue. A guy that had troubles in his past, and said, by talking to me, he said, "You seem like you know what you're doing. I'd like to give you a shot."
Nice.
And that's all it took.
You know what? Sometimes that's all it takes. It's like give somebody a second chance, receive a second chance, and then what you make do from there.
Because really, when I came out of prison, the only person that I had was my mother. She was kind enough to let me stay in her condominium. Um, I knew that I had to do something. I knew that I needed, and just having that one chance really turned the light bulb on me. I guess that's the point where I knew that I had to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, besides the turning point in the hospital, that's when I really knew. I was like, this guy's actually giving me a chance, because at that point, I really believed I still didn't have a chance. I didn't think that, I thought that, ex-convict, they can look up my past, and what you can find in my past isn't so good. It's right there on the internet.
Right.
Um, so that was my second aha moment, with
I
them
love
giving
that.
me a chance with somebody else that had a past similar to mine, saying, "You know what, you deserve a chance."
I love that. I love that for you. That's awesome.
And from
So,
there, it's snowballed from there.
right.
um
Yep. So when your rabbit hole ended and it got quiet, what did you see when you looked at yourself?
Not so good things. Are you talking about the old self?
Well, I mean, it's like when now, looking back, it's like from
Now
where you
looking
come,
back,
where you
it's
are
it's
now, it's
it's
like,
almost surreal to me, reading my own story. When I read that, it's like a fever dream.
a what? A fever dream?
It's like a fever dream. It's kind
Okay.
of like, how did I really, do this? I mean, I've got the receipts. I know I did it. I've got them here and on paper and everywhere
Right.
else. So, it's not, it's just realizing of what you are. That's
Hmm.
that's
Right. So for anybody going through something similar right now that's watching or listening, what would you tell them?
you're only worthless as you think you are at the moment. Um, don't ever give up, no matter how bad. I mean, we're talking about a 40 something year journey for myself, all bad. Um, don't give up on yourself. There's always hope. And if you do the right things because they're the right things to do, you'll succeed in life.
Mm, I love that. And
Small
and
goals, big goals, as long as you have a goal, doesn't matter
right.
what they are, work
and
towards it,
and again, you
achieve
don't
it.
have to do it alone. Reach out.
That's it.
Reach out
Reach
to
out, talk to
somebody.
somebody,
Right.
get help. That's what I want to say. Don't let it bottle up inside for days, months, years,
Yep.
whatever. If you realize that there's something wrong, reach out to somebody who can help you.
Right. Absolutely. One of the things is like I created a Facebook group. It's called the Home of Misfits, the Open Living Room. Anybody can join. You know, it's a
I'll be
start.
there.
Find
I'll be
find
there.
hmm?
I'll be there.
Please be. You know, and it's I mean, there's so many places out there, so many people who want to help, who genuinely want to help, and give a chance and give a hand up. You
That,
know.
I had so many opportunities in my lifetime for help. My family, my sisters, my brother, my parents, my grandmother, and a multitude of other people that said, "Hey, there's something definitely wrong with what you're doing. You need to do something.
Right.
Don't ignore it." If
Right.
somebody realizes it before you do, take heed to what they're saying.
Right. Yep. And it's like when you're ready, you're not alone. You're never alone. I love that. So anyway, unfortunately, I could talk to you like forever, you know.
Well, I'm glad that you had me on today. This actually helped me right here, and I
Good.
appreciate it. It's part of
Likewise.
my healing process, and I definitely appreciate it.
Likewise. And I hope our viewers and listeners feel the same way, you know, because it's like, yes. So if people want to get a hold of you, Michael, how would they get a hold of you?
I do have a LinkedIn page, Michael Miski, on LinkedIn. They can find me on Facebook. I have a professional page there as a new author now. So,
Yay.
it just blows my mind that, and I didn't realize the magnitude of what just happened to me in 17 days of releasing this book. That's the real proof. If you put your mind to something, you don't know what's going to come out of it. This was just a memoir that I wrote really for myself,
Mm-hmm.
and good things can happen.
Absolutely. I always tell people it's like share your story. Somebody needs to hear your story. Your story will help somebody.
I mean,
So
from going from
share it.
a guy in a prison cell, I never thought I would have number one best new release author or anything like that ever in my lifetime.
And yet here you are.
It's unfathomable. It really is. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, but I'm getting it now. I'm getting it.
I'm so happy for you. I mean, you deserve it. I mean, it is so awesome. And I want to thank you so much for being a guest here today and sharing your story and sharing you. You know,
Thank you so very much.
it is so awesome.
This was very special to me. I never thought that a podcaster would reach out to me, especially with somebody of your stature.
Oh,
So
thank you.
to me, that this is kind of surreal. This is kind of a fever dream again for me.
Well,
It's
there are no
very real.
coincidences. You manifested this, so and here we are.
I think I did. I honestly, and that's one thing. Always believe in yourself.
Mhm.
Always believe in yourself, no matter what.
Mm, I love that. Ah, I'm gonna give you a heart too. I like my little
Right back at you.
ta-da. So anyway, well, thank you, and thank you all for tuning in. And we'll be back next week with another episode here at Home of Misfits, where normal is optional, masks are necessary, and you belong. And we'll see you next week. Thanks.
Thank you
Bye.
again. Bye bye.
Thanks for listening to Home of Misfits by Matters of Perspective. You belong.